Hello, welcome to Jackrabbit Journal, and an abrupt end to the season for the Jackrabbit football team, Hank. A loss at Montana in the first round of the FCS playoffs. This was a tough draw for the Jackrabbits, and we'll talk more about that. But the Jackrabbits win the second half, 17-0. They look great in the second half. Just could not get it going early enough in this game. What was the deal?
No, it was a bit of a lot of what we saw throughout the season, really. Just some slow starts and, not necessarily a team that, with all the question marks, I guess, that they kind of had, specifically at the quarterback position and really some of the inconsistent play on the offensive line. Not necessarily a team that's really equipped to come from behind by putting themselves in a hole of that nature in a hostile environment like out there in Missoula. So, yeah, kind of a sluggish start. The offense really struggled to get anything going in the first half. Defensively, the guys came out. They looked ready to go. Montana didn't, they didn't just light it up right from the first whistle. But this is a team that continued to fight hard all throughout the season, and they did so this past week too. They never gave up. They played Jackrabbit football, but in the end, the last couple of weeks have been probably pretty taxing on these guys, and they just weren't able to get things going early enough, soon enough. In a playoff atmosphere.
All right. Quarterback Zach Lujan, by the way, was out for this game, injured the week before in the loss at Western Illinois. So true freshman Taryn Christian got the start at quarterback. Jacks played without defensive tackle Kellen Solik, who had 13 tackles and a couple of blocked field goals in the last couple of weeks. And here is the wrap on this game, plus some post-game reaction from the players from our producer David Brown, who was in Missoula for the game.
It was a tale of two halves here at Washington Grizzly Stadium, and unfortunately for South Dakota State, time ran out on their offense in the second half as they fall to the Grizzlies 24-17 here in Missoula in round one of the FCS playoffs. From a defensive standpoint, SDSU actually started off on the right foot, forcing a 3-and-out from Montana on the Grizzlies' first three possessions.
I think we were showing them some different looks, and it was keeping them on their toes a little bit, and we were really just executing. It wasn't so much that we did something differently defensively.
Offensively, however, the Jacks couldn't get anything going in the first half. Brady Mangarelli fumbled on the first possession, and SDSU never reached the Grizzly red zone in the first 30 minutes.
We just made too many mistakes in the first half. And on the offensive side of the ball, we were just one or two blocks away from big plays every single play.
Montana's offense and their no-huddle system eventually wore the Jacks' defense down, scoring 3 touchdowns and a field goal en route to a 24-0 halftime lead. But after the break, the Jacks' offense started to pick up.
Really just coming out of the second half, we just were more energetic than we were in the first. We were able to settle down a little bit, kind of got used to the noise, and then we're finally able to get things going.
The second half was obviously much better. Got into the no huddle, did some attack stuff, but we just needed to come out with higher intensity in the first half.
A 30-yard Dallas Goddard touchdown on 4th and 19 brought SDSU to within a score at 24-17 with just under 5 minutes to go. And while the defense had held Montana scoreless throughout the second half, they couldn't get a crucial stop late as the Grizzlies ran out the clock.
Give credit to our defense. They stuck it to in the second half, and they really kept us in that game. Clock just hit triple zeros too soon.
We pressed. We didn't run our base defense. We knew we had to make a play. I mean, we blitzed right into the gap, and that kid danced around us and went about 15 yards, and credit to him. He's a good football player. I just wanted so badly to be on the other end of a comeback out here. But credit to Coach Stitt. The quarterback's a really good player. And I'm really proud of our team to have come back the way we did. But we did fall short, and it hurts.
And so ends an SDSU season that can best be described with what-ifs. What if Kyle Paris doesn't get stuffed on 4th down in the red zone against Northern Iowa? What if the Jacks don't fumble at the 2-yard line with a chance to go up 17-3 at Western Illinois? What if they had actually received a top 8 seed? It may be tough for Jacks fans to think about, but head coach John Stiegelmeier says the fact SDSU was even in that position speaks volumes about this year's team.
We lost a ton of good players last year, a ton. Guys that NFL record holder, 4-year starters, phenomenal players. And other than our staff and the guys in the locker room, I don't think a lot of people gave us credit. gave us a chance to do what we did. Disappointed in the Northern Iowa loss, a one-play loss, and the Western Illinois loss, but when you invest greatly, the joys are big and the disappointments are huge.
South Dakota State now loses 20 seniors, including 9 of this year's 22 starters, led by middle linebacker TJ Lally, who started every game of his career, and Cam Jones, who had a career-high 24 catches this season at tight end.
I've met some of the best friends I'll ever have for the rest of my life on this team. Just want to say thank you to Coach Stig and his staff for giving me the opportunity to play my dream of Division I football.
Best experience of my life, and just met some of the best guys, best coaching staff. Couldn't be more blessed to be part of this team, and I'll always be a Jackrabbit. I loved everything about it, and just blessed.
We will be back. We will be back, and it hurts to say that as I guess officially an alumni now, as an old guy, but it'll be fun to see where this program goes from here. And I truly believe the sky's the limit. Just keep building off the success we've had the last 4 years.
Those last 4 years have all concluded in trips to the postseason. It's a new standard at SDSU, one that Coach Stig believes will keep next year's senior class hungry for more.
It hurts now, but that'll be motivation to get in the weight room and get after it. And this is a pretty fickle game. I mean, it really is. I mean, a penalty here, a tip ball there, and you don't have that chance. But if you play like it's your last play, which we do, you got a chance.
It really is amazing how the tides can change in just a few weeks. After the USD win, SDSU was sitting at 8-2 and in prime position for a first-round bye, and now they're not even going to reach the second round of the playoffs after they fall here in Missoula 24-17 to Montana. For Midco Sports Network, I'm David Brown from Washington Grizzly Stadium.
All right, thanks, David. When we come back, a run through some more of the numbers and the big plays from what turned into a long and exasperating first half in this game for the Jackrabbits.
Jackrabbit Journal on Midco Sports Network is presented by Dakota Land Honda.
Welcome back. For whatever reason, the Jackrabbits had some slow starts this year to their football games, but they were able to overcome that for the most part. They had 5 games where they were behind after the first quarter, but came back to lead at the half in all those games. The Jackrabbits had the lead in 9 of their 11 games in the regular season, but a different story in this game in Montana. Get down 24-0, just could not get it back to even a reasonable margin in the first half.
Well, 24-0 is a big hole to try to dig yourself out of. And, sure, there were some sluggish starts, but the Jacks are used to, for the most part, having the lead going into halftime and feeling as if you have some control over the game, or at least having the finish line, if you will, towards a win being much closer. Yeah. But that just wasn't the case this past week. And you're on the road, coming off a tough loss, and so you've got your work cut out for you, to say the least, against a playoff football team. This is Montana. These guys have been there before, and they've got a lot of history behind them, and so you had a lot of work to do coming out at halftime, which it looked as if they were prepared to take some steps forward.
All right, let's take a look at the first half. First, Grizzly Stadium, by the way, beautiful setting for a football game. They had 14,000 fans there. That's about 11,000 fewer than they averaged during the season. Just saying, not everybody fills it up for the playoffs, other than probably North Dakota State. But still a formidable home field advantage for Montana, one of the best in the country, and the Jackrabbit defense out to a great start. Montana did nothing on its first 3 possessions in the game.
Oh, yeah, defense came out ready to go, obviously. You hold an offense like that, those guys were scoring points coming into the game. They've been without their quarterback for a number of games throughout the season. Well, he was back, the big guy. He knows how to run that offense. They were expecting to score and they were planning to get out early on the Jackrabbits. Well, defense said they weren't having any of that.
All right, problem is Jacks had the ball for 9.5 minutes in the first quarter, but they couldn't put any points up with that advantage. Late first quarter, though, something changed. Montana starts moving the ball down the field to get their first touchdown on a 78-yard drive. Brady Gustafson, their 6'7" quarterback, a touchdown pass here. He completed 62% in this game for 295 yards, beat up the Jackrabbit secondary, pretty much in that first half.
Yeah, you really saw that offensive unit finally get into a rhythm and gain some confidence. A couple missed tackles by the Jacks here and there, maybe some mental errors that led to some big plays and some real opportunities for the Grizz to put some points on the board.
7-0 Montana after the first quarter, and then not a great 15 minutes next for the Jackrabbits. First, a 7-play, 87-yard drive for Montana. They ended up with a 26-yard touchdown pass from Gustafson to Ellis Henderson in the corner of the end zone. Grizzlies go up 14-0. Jackrabbits put together an 11-play drive after that, but they only go 37 yards. They end up punting it away again. The Grizzlies get a field goal to go up 17-0, and then they get the ball back with just under 2 minutes to go at the SDSU 48-yard line. They go 5 plays in just over a minute, a 2-yard touchdown run at the end of the half, and it's 24-0 Montana at halftime. Both teams ran 42 plays in the first half. Jacks only had 111 yards. Grizzlies had 293. And after the first 3 possessions, what clicked for Montana offensively in that first half?
Well, they've got a core leadership on that offensive unit that I think really woke up there in the second quarter. And when you look at that last drive for the Grizz, that one hurt, no doubt about it. You're at half, you're getting ready to go into half, you're only down 17, and they end up with the ball in great field position and execute effectively to put the ball in the end zone right before having to go up by that many scores. That's tough, and that hurts, no doubt about it. So bring the guys together. Hey, guys, we've got our work cut out for us. Let's figure something out, try to put something together.
All right, after all of that mess, a total turnaround in the second half. We got the key plays in the comeback that comes up just short for the Jackrabbits coming up next.
Jackrabbit Journal on Midco Sports Network is presented by Dakota Land Honda.
Welcome back. It is fascinating to me how a game can change dramatically at halftime. Simply by taking a halftime break, a game can totally turn around. Is it usually, in your experience, adjustments in strategy or just in effort and attitude? What is it?
Well, I think it should be a little bit of both, especially in this scenario with the Jacks down 24-0 the way that they were. It's, hey, guys, we understand that everything that we were doing in the first half was not working. Our approach, we need to throw that out the window and refocus on this second half. This is a new ball game. We need to wipe the slate clean and find a way to execute more effectively and to come out with a little more fire, a little more passion so that we can get ourselves back in this game.
All right, down 24-0 at the half. The Jacks get it going on both sides of the ball, really, in the second half. They held Montana without a first down on the first 5 possessions of the second half. Montana only had 18 yards total in the third quarter of this game. And then the Jacks get some offense going. They get a field goal from Jay Carlson about 5 minutes into the second half to get some points on the board at least. And then late in the third quarter, a 36-yard pass from Christian to Jake Winicky that puts the ball down at the Montana 1-yard line, and then Christian will take it in from there to make it 24-10 at the end of 3 quarters, and some momentum going the Jacks' way.
Yeah, some real momentum. Hey, guys, defense clamps down. They understand that in order for them to get back into it, they've got to pitch a shutout, and that's what they set out to do. It's what they did in the third quarter. Offense says, okay, guys, defense is doing their part. Now, what are we going to do to get us back in this game? We got to make some plays. That's what we were brought in here to do. We're on the offensive side of the ball. We're supposed to be playmakers. And so you see some guys step up and find a way to really put themselves in position to get back into it.
All right, midway through the fourth quarter, Jacks put together a 9-play, 80-yard scoring drive on a 4th and 19. Christian finds Dallas Goddard for a 30-yard touchdown connection, and it's 24-17 with 4 minutes and 44 seconds left in the ball game. But the Jacks did not get the ball back. Montana throws some short passes, they keep it on the ground, and they run out the clock. They don't give it back to the Jacks, and it ends up 24-17.
Yeah, you got to think the defense just ran out of gas in the end. You fight, you claw back into this one, and you say, all right, we've got one of the best defenses in the country. They're going to give us another shot to get this ball in our hands and to go down into tie and potentially win this game and move on to the second round. But the defense has been on the field for quite a while throughout the duration of this game, and they just weren't able to make enough plays in the end.
TJ Lally, 14 tackles. That's a game high on either side. Jake Winicky, 6 catches for 128 yards in this game. Taryn Christian, 18 out of 43, threw it 43 times, 230 yards. Also ran 54 yards on 19 carries. But Montana is now unbelievably 8-0 all time against the Jacks. That's hard to stomach.
Yeah, it is. One of those, I was out there, I don't remember what year it was, but we got beat by those guys in a close one. A storied program. They know how to win football games, and for whatever reason, they have the Jackrabbits number.
All right, up next, we will make a few bold predictions on what happens next for the Missouri Valley teams left in the playoffs, and here's some strong words from Coach Stiegelmeier on how this whole playoff procedure is a bit of a mess.
Jackrabbit Journal on Midco Sports Network is presented by Dakota Land Honda.
Welcome back. There are those who say that the Jackrabbits blew their chance at a top 8 seed in the playoffs this year. There are those who say the Jacks got a raw deal from the playoff committee after going 8-3 in the regular season. Is it one or the other or both? What's your opinion on that?
Definitely both. If you ask me, sure, the guys should have taken care of business against Western Illinois. We know the circumstances surrounding that road trip. Quite an adventure for those guys, so you don't get the job done on that front. If you do, it is such a different story potentially for this team, for these seniors. Some of the guys who have been there, done that with regard to the playoffs 4 straight years. No one else in this program's history can say anything like that. But it's a different story. You're sitting at home watching last week, hanging out, getting healthy, and preparing to take on the next opponent at home for the most part. They'd have been down in Sioux Falls at Howard Wood Stadium. But still, you're not hopping on a plane and having to potentially go through the rigmarole that you did the week before. Ideally, they would have taken care of business against Western Illinois. They'd tell you that too. But when we look at the way that these playoffs are structured, it is painfully obvious that some reform is overdue because this draw was really inexplicable. If you ask me, I don't get it. The committee can try to justify it as best they can, but it's unfortunate the way it played out for these guys, and now they're at home watching.
All right, here's Coach Stig after the game at Montana when asked about the Jacks getting the draw that they got.
I was very disappointed. Very disappointed. It was magnified by losing. I mean, we had a horrendous road trip with delays and bad weather, and I think we handled that pretty well. We have a tough loss. Had we won, we'd have been potentially a top 8 seed, guaranteed the top 8 seed, and then it becomes a dart throwing contest, I think. And from I don't know who makes the decisions to, then it's a budget decision too. And I think that's unfair to student athletes. When a young man like TJ Lally works 4 years, Cam works 4 years, 5 years, and it ends up being not very objective, I don't think that's the way it should be.
All right, it's hard to complain, yes, but it's also easy to complain. Jacks could have gone to Dayton. 900-mile trip. They had 900 fans there, lost to Western Illinois. Could have gone to New Hampshire. Still a plane trip, yes, but only had 3,000 fans there. They lost to Colgate, a 7-4 team from the Patriot League. Jacks could have gone to William and Mary out in Virginia, had 4,000 fans there. They beat Duquesne by 3 points. Duquesne beat Robert Morris, remember them, 16-7. I'm just saying the Jacks could have had a much better draw for going 8-3 in the Missouri Valley.
Yes, they certainly could have. Right. We look at things, regionalization, right? You're in this region, so you're going to go play these guys. We don't really care how good you may be or they are, but good luck, fellas. Roll it out there. And by the way, yeah, Dayton, no offense to those guys, but 900 fans, less than 1,000 fans at that. All right, and I'm done. Right.
I know, and the Jacks could have won at Western Illinois, could have won at Montana. Anyway, Montana plays next at North Dakota State in the second round. Northern Iowa out of the Missouri Valley goes to Portland State, and Western Illinois and Illinois State, 2 teams from the Missouri Valley, will face each other in the next round. You got a thought on North Dakota State and Montana coming up this weekend?
I think it'll be a great game. I really do. Be anxious. Rematch. Bison have a lot of motivation to come out firing on all cylinders and take it to the Grizz after that. That week 1 loss that everybody saw on national television. I'll be tuning into that one for sure.
All right, we will have at least 1 Missouri Valley team in the semis, possibly 3 after this Saturday's second round of the FCS playoffs. Well, the Jackrabbits have 2 first-teamers on the all-conference team in the Missouri Valley this year. They've got 1 on the all-newcomer team, and we'll check those out after this.
Jackrabbit Journal on Midco Sports Network is presented by Dakota Land Honda.
Welcome back. South Dakota State sophomore wide receiver Jake Wieneke put together another spectacular season this year, Hank. Ended the season with 72 catches for 1,472 yards. He had one less catch this year, but he had 68 more yards than he did last year. And he now has the second and third best single seasons in receiving yards in South Dakota State history. Kid's incredible.
Absolutely. It's incredible considering the fact he was hurt the majority of the year.
Yes.
And one less game
Yes.
than last year. Until you read it off right there, I wasn't really aware that he was that dynamic again for a second year. We talked about it before the season started. Was he going to be able to repeat that?
Yes, he did.
We thought he had the ability to do it. It just took a matter of his teammates being on board, and he got it done.
Wieneke is 6th right now in career receptions. He's 3rd all-time in receiving yards, and he is 2nd all-time in touchdown catches with 27. He went by your man Josh Davis this year. The SDSU record for touchdowns is 32, and Wieneke's got 2 years left. He is on the first team. The Jacks put one other offensive player on the first team. Tight end Dallas Goddard had 24 catches for almost 500 yards and 3 touchdowns this year. TJ Lally is on the All-Valley second team. That is a huge oversight, in my opinion. He was 8th in the conference in tackles this season. Jacks also put Cole Langer, Jimmy Forsyth, and Jacob Onasorgi on the second team. Taryn Christian is on the Valley all-newcomer team this year. Had 5 touchdowns on the ground, ran for 7 more, and we'll see you next week with the plays of the year.